Hello all and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. I'm Jamie and I'm going to be your host today. Now if you haven't seen our videos before, what we're going to do today is we're going to take you through some brand new products that have just arrived in store. And on our weekly videos, such as our Sunday Showcases, we also give you a special offer. So this week we've got different percentages off of the lovely products we're going to be introducing today. And then we also have some big mega bundles and bits which you can save even more money with. We'll also be showing you some essential packs, showing you lots of bits that you could use to make some cards. And then I'll be showing you 10 projects, including the one you've just had a little look at, and telling you more about how I've made them and hopefully showing you a few ideas that you could put to use on these products and hopefully make some lovely cards and different projects. Now before we go off on today's video, we have a little bit of work to finish off from last week's. Now on last week's video we told you for every product that you purchased, every die that we were playing about with last week, we would give you a free raffle ticket. And one lucky winner would win £50 worth of Craftmania gift vouchers. Now these vouchers can be spent in either of our stores or online anywhere in the world. So with no further ado, let's give them a bit of a shake up and get our very talented camera lady to pick one lucky winner who's going to get the £50 worth of vouchers. So let's have a little look. We've got a red ticket, its number is 726 and our winner is Debbie Frost. So that's lovely. I actually know Debbie. Debbie comes to our lessons. She's very, very sweet and that will certainly mean the world to her. And I also know she's just bought one of our new die cutting machines. So this will certainly help her get some dies to go in it. So well done, Debbie. Congratulations. And we'll be contacting you to tell you that you've got your vouchers and when you can spend them and how. So let's move on with today's video. Now before we actually go on to showing you all of these new goodies, one last thing I want to tell you about is our new or trialling international shipping. Now as many of you already do, you do shop with us from around the world. We're very big in America and Australia and different parts around the world. But up until now we've had a completely different postage system working and we're now going to trial a new one for the next couple of weeks. So the same rules sort of apply, but instead of it costing you £20 to shop with us, it's going to be a flat rate of just £10 to shop with us internationally. And if your parcel does cost less than £10 to send to you, we will actually refund you the difference. So we're trying to keep your postage charges as cheap as possibly can be. If it does cost you more than £10, then Craftmania will actually front that. So our average parcels that tend to go to America tend to be about £12 to £13. To give you an idea, from the UK to America is about £13. So we will actually pay the extra on that one. So all you will end up paying is a maximum of £10. Now it used to be 20, so this is a new thing that we're trialling and we'll see how it goes and we'll keep you updated over the next few weeks on if it's staying or going. But for now, get in while you can and save a few pounds on your postage, because as I say, the most you will pay anywhere in the world is £10. But if I've rambled and not made too much sense, which often happens, check out our frequently asked question page on our website and it'll all be explained in black and white, so hopefully that'll help. But of course, as with anything I waffle on about today, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us, either directly through our website, over the phone to one of our stores, or of course you can contact us on one of our many social media platforms. So anyway, let's go on with today's brand new goodies. Now we are looking at some Christmas dies this week, but hopefully you're going to think these are really, really lovely ones. I think we've sort of saved them, some of the best ones till now. I know we're getting a bit closer to Christmas, but they're a really good time to get in on these. And of course, as I said earlier, being a Sunday Showcase, we do have them on offer as well. So the first one you're looking at is our snowflake frame. Now this one is originally £11.49, but this week we have it on offer for you, so it's just £9.76. Now don't forget, these offers are only valid for this week and this week only, so they will end at 5 PM on Saturday the 20th of October. Now, as you can see, I've cut one of these out in white just to give you a little bit of an idea too, and one in black, just because I think sometimes colours can really give you a different sense of how a die is going to look. The good bit with this die is they've also give you a circle to go in the middle. So it does actually, if you leave the circle out, stay completely filled in. So if you want to layer things on top of it or stamp pieces on top of that, you can do. Or if you wish to, you can pop on the circle and actually cut that out as an aperture as well. So they've really tried to think of everything you might want to do with this one and give you a few more uses. On the black one, I've just laid one of the circles on top because, of course, if you wanted to, you could cut the circles separately and layer them on top of that instead if you prefer. It really is a lovely die, and later you're going to get to see that on one of my cards where I've actually teabag folded that one. So do bear with, because it's actually one of my favourite cards that I'm going to get to share with you today. Coming up next is our ice frame. Now this one's really quite intriguing because it's sort of a square, it's sort of an oval, it's sort of a circle, it's got lots of bits going on with it, and that probably makes no sense, but when you come to use it, you will notice that you can turn it quite easily to be a diamond. It is actually slightly rectangular, so you can favour that if you prefer, or you can just square it off. Or if you want to, you can even snip off the bits around the edge and turn it into a good old-fashioned circle die, which looks quite a lot like a doily. Again, with this one, they've also give you that circle in the middle. So if you do want to, you can once again cut them out as a complete frame, which is quite nice as well. Gives you a lot more uses for this one. And that one, the card that you started off zoomed in on at the very beginning of the video, this is actually how we make that one to turn them into them teabag folded elements. But we'll talk more about that when we get there a little later. But this is the die you're going to fall in love with, I feel. So that one, of course, is your ice frame, £11.49 reduced to £9.76. Next up, we have your snowflake border set. Now this one should be £10.99, but it's reduced to just £9.34. And in this set, you actually get 3 different dies. Now I'm going to try my best to explain this to you, but I often ramble and get confusing. This one is actually a freestanding die. So there is a blade that runs all the way around the outside of this on both sides. So it will cut out just as a freestanding element. The good bit is it's got this really nice slit that goes along here, so if you want to, you can actually feed things into it or under it or over it, however you wish to, which is quite nice. They've also give you a flat, just straight blade, so if you wish to put layers up against that, for instance, or cut your card sides to match that shape, you can do. And then this one is an edgeable. So we have a blade that runs all the way across the top and down the side here and then across there, but there's no blade along this long side here. So if you want to do that coming out the top of your card or on your creases, you can do. And again, I really think these would make lovely little booklets if you like doing mini albums and bits like that. It gives you the ability to shape the edges of your pages and create some quite interesting pages instead of just flat rectangles or squares. So that one is your snowflake border set, should be £10.99, only £9.34. Then the next one, this one I actually think has quite a few uses. Now I know we're looking at it as a Christmas set, but this is your bauble border, should be £8.49 and it's only £7.21 on offer. But I actually think you can do quite a few things with this. Not only can you trim the baubles off and then just use this as quite a nice filigree piece all year, it also makes quite nice hinges. So if you want to turn it into sort of, again, if we're thinking memory albums or little mini albums, you could wrap that around the edges of that. It also obviously just makes quite a nice border, and it can also be turned into a frame really easily by just cutting a few of them. So you're going to get to see several ways I've used that on my cards today, but it's one to watch. I think you're going to like that one too. It really is very delicate and quite lovely. So that one is your bauble border, £8.49 reduced to just £7.21. And then your last new die that we're going to introduce down your offers as such, this is your hanging bauble, and this one should be £8.49 and it's reduced to just £7.21 again. And it's a really nice hanging bauble. It's quite delicate and it's quite nice because you could quite easily cut some circles of different colours to go underneath them if you wanted to, or possibly just stick some plain card under it and glitter them or colour them in with gel pens. There really is lots of options we could do with this one. I would quite like, and I didn't get the chance, but to actually put it onto acetate and paint it in with either some alcohol markers or some glass paint. I think that might be quite a nice look for that one too. But that's your hanging baubles, should be £8.49 and is only £7.21. And then your last new product in this set, as in your showcase offers, is a lovely set of stamps. Now, I really genuinely wanted to have more chance to play with these today, but I sort of run out of time a bit, and they're really lovely. I'm actually going to take these out of the packet because I'm looking at it from above now. I can see that that backing packet isn't that best for you to see what's actually going on in here. So let's have a bit of a closer look. So actually in here, we've got a really beautiful tree, as you can see, and then loads of different bits to actually decorate it with. And these put me in mind of them little stamps that you can create wreaths and bits with. So if you had some of them stamps, or if you wish to use these to build up like a Christmas wreath of ornaments, maybe, you certainly could do. Or of course you can just use them to decorate the tree. They've also give you tinsel and lights and different beaded decorations to decorate your tree with. We've then got a nice little star hanger, a little snowman, a little cottage, some presents to go under your tree, a really nice icicle bit, and then the most beautiful Christmas village scene that I think is really, really special. And you're going to get to see a die that you're actually going to be getting in your essentials pack that would go with that really, really well, that you're going to get to see on my cards as well. The stamp set should be £8.99, but it is only £7.64 on offer. And it's actually quite a large stamp set. I know it's sometimes awkward to tell sizes, but if you compare it in sort of to my hands, you can see it is actually quite a large sheet. It's not quite A4, but it's not a million miles away. So they're good value, nice size stamps. So that is obviously all of your individual items, which you're more than welcome to purchase separately with that discount, but we have put them together for you in a mega bundle. Now our mega bundle actually means you're going to be saving even more money. So if you would like to, you can purchase all of the dies and the stamp set for just £49.99. This should be costing you £61.94 if they was at their standard recommended retail price. So you're saving a good little amount on that set, aren't you? But hold on, you could save even more. We'll be looking at a super mega bundle a little while later, so bear with us when we get to that one. But before we do that, we're going to look at your essentials pack. Now this week we've got a really special essentials pack for you because there's so much in this one, and we've actually thought about quite a few different bits for you. So not only have you got some standard cardstock and bits, you've also got some really nice new dies and paper pads and decoupage and bits like that. So if you're new to our videos, I always feel I have to explain this bit. These are essentials that I've been using to create my cards that we're going to be looking at shortly. So if you do want to get your hands on trying to make some of those and bits to do that with, this is a really good set for you to have. It's got your basics like your card in it, it's got your embellishments, it's got ribbons, it's got a little bit of everything you're going to really need. But what we do is we put it together in one pack and then we take up to a third off of the price. So what you're actually going to be looking at here in this essential pack should cost you £25, but it's only £16.49. So let's delve in and have a little look at what that's actually going to get you. So start off at this side, we have a nice ½ metre of a goldish yellow sheer ribbon. We've then got a slightly wider navy ribbon and a slightly wider white ribbon. That's a bit of a tongue twister, sorry. These are quite nice as well because all three of them have got a satin edge to them. So they're really nice if we use them for borders or bows, bits like that. And then in a first ever in your essentials pack, we're going to give you the same colour ribbon, but in 4 different widths. Now this can be really nice again to accentuate a design theme or colour scheme, and really good for making bows up and bits like that using different ribbons. And I'll be able to show you some of them again when we go through my cards. But a really nice colour, and it matches in so well with the other bits that you're going to be getting in your essentials pack. You're also going to be getting 2 A4 die-cut decoupage sheets. So they're already die-cut. You're just going to pop them out and build them up with some foam pads. There's a few here that I've already made that I haven't yet had a chance to use on my cards. But you're actually getting 2 different sheets in here. So you are going to get 6 different images in total. And that's, of course, only showing you 3 of them. You're also going to be getting a die. Now this is the very first time we've ever given away a die set actually in an essentials pack, and it really brings home just the value on this week's essentials pack. This die would normally retail for about £8.99, £9.99 depending where you're looking, and you're going to be getting that actually in your essentials pack for only £16.49. So it really does show you the value that you're getting here. Now, obviously, as you can see, you've got a really nice sleigh and reindeer set across here. And then you've got a little stamp that says My Home and a little stamp that says North Pole, and then a couple of clouds. So, of course, you can build up some really nice scenes with them. Or, if you are lucky enough to get the stamps from this week's showcase, the actual set we were showing you a little while ago, then this, of course, would look really nice flying over the top of that village scene at the bottom of the stamps that we're looking at. So, a nice way to use them. This is actually our little sleigh and reindeer cut out, and it's quite nice as well because if you do want to trim off a Rudolph, you can do, or a reindeer, so you can have a little less of a sleigh, or of course you could layer it and build up more, or you could cut a few and trim them and join them together to give him his actual set of reindeers if you wanted to. We also have for you a paper pad. Now again, this all coordinates perfectly. It's all done by the same brand, so it really does work together effortlessly. So in here we've got lots of sheets for you, and they're all double-sided. So we're just going to flick for a few of these quite quickly to show you just an idea of what you're going to be getting. But I like the way they've actually, and this is quite a nice idea, they've repeated the same style of design on the reverse of them, but they've changed the shade. So many times you get just one design on one side that you really love, and then they repeat a different design on the other side. You want to use both of them, but you can't. Well, this is quite nice because if you are working with some of the decoupage sheets as well, the different colourways and the different shades that they're giving you can work a lot better depending on which one of the images you're using, if that makes sense. So as you can see, you're getting a lot in here, quite a few sheets to be used, and they're quite nice general designs, so they're going to come in really handy. Not all of them have to even be used for Christmas, but you're going to get 23 sheets in that pack in total, and they're a nice size as well. These ones are, of course, 15.2 by 15.2 centimetres, so a nice size to work with, especially when we look at the dies. They layer really nicely underneath the dies as well, and you can also cut the dies out of these papers, and I'll be showing you that as well shortly. We're also going to give you two pieces of 12 by 12 pearl card. You've got a nice blue one, and then one of my favourite colours, this really dark, rich purple, which I just think is gorgeous, especially for Christmas. Looks really nice when you put it with gold, and I'll be showing you that again shortly. We've then got another new product for you in your essentials pack. This is a new weight of ice gold card. So you can buy it obviously in your essentials pack, but we are also selling it in packs of 10. This is brand new in it, only arrived today, quite literally. It's 200 GSM, so it's a nice weight for die cutting, which is what it's sort of intended for, or what I'm using it for the most. It's not too thick, so your die cutter won't struggle to cut through it, and intricate dies won't be a problem either. But it's not too floppy like papers can be, so it's a nice weight to work with. I possibly wouldn't go for building boxes and cards out of it like we often say, but it's certainly a nice strength for layering and die cutting. And you're going to be getting 5 sheets of that actually in your essentials pack, but if you would like to purchase it in our 10 packs, then you'll get 10 sheets for £1.99, and they will of course be available in store and online. And then another one of our recently arrived products you're going to be getting in here is 5 sheets of ice gold paper. So this is a really nice weight paper. This is what we'll be showing you our tea bag folding bits on our cards with in a moment. Because of that, it's not too strong. You can fold it and bend it and shape it quite nicely, but it's not so weak it's going to get crushed in an envelope and never come back to life. So it's a nice paper. Both of these, the paper and the card, are really good for stamping as well and colouring on and distressing. So if you want to colour them in any way, shape or form, it's a really good quality paper and card for that as well. So that completes your essentials pack. Oh, I'm forgetting your stickers, sorry. Little wiggle from the camera. These are your border stickers, sorry. So they come off individually. They are literally all separate strips, so you can use them to build up pictures or borders. And then we've also got a really nice brand new fantasy themed sort of magical Christmas winter fantasy style sticker sheet, and these literally all come off as individual pictures, and they're of course sticky back, so you can just attach them onto anything you'd wish to. So now that completes your essential pack, which should be worth £25, but is yours for just £16.49p. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a super mega bundle, and our super mega bundle means that you're going to be getting everything we just show you in the essentials pack and everything we show you in the mega bundle. So it's going to give you all of them wonderful dies and papers and ribbons and everything you need. It should cost you £86.94p, but it's yours for just £64.99. Now, I'll probably lose you here because I'm never very good at explaining things like this. But if you look at the price of your mega bundle, if we didn't have the offer on, should actually cost you £61.94p. So for literally a couple of pounds more, if you do go for this set as such, you're actually going to be getting all of your essentials pack worth £25 included. So if you need to try and justify your spending, that might be a good way for you to look at it, because it means you're getting an awful lot of embellishments and papers and bits, and even that lovely sleigh die for just a couple of pounds more than you'd pay full price for them dies. Hopefully that made sense. But anyway, come on, let's go have a look at some cards, and hopefully we'll convince you that you can't live without this lot and you must have it. So, this is my first card. Now, this is that paper in question that we were just talking about used. I've used that with the snowflake frame, which is the first die I show you, the lovely square one, which should be £11.49, but it's reduced to £9.76. Now, basically, I've taken 8 of them and I have tea bag folded my actual paper on my actual die cut. I'd never done tea bag folding with a die cut before. I've done tea bag folding in many different forms of different papers and vellums and bits like that over the years, but I'd never actually thought of using a die cut to do it. I've even punched the corners of my tea bag folders before, but I've never thought about actually using a die cut shape to do it, and I was quite chuffed with this. I thought this came out alright. You could certainly try different designs and different colours, and you could ink it if you wanted to, like I said earlier. Obviously in the middle I've got one of my little decoupages, which of course comes from your essentials pack, and then in the background here you're seeing a couple of the papers that again come out of that pad, and then here you're getting to see a couple of the ribbons as well, so you can see that I've used a wider ribbon for my bow and a thinner one for actually going down the edge of my card. And this is quite a big card, to give you an idea. I actually cut this out of 12 by 12 cardstock, so it's not quite that, it's probably about 10.5 inches ish. But it's quite a big card, but you don't have to. This actual element here is quite small, so if you did want to put it on a smaller card you certainly could, but I wanted to go big and bold for that one, and I quite like the way that one turned out. Onto this one. So this one is using your fantasy sticker, which of course is in your essentials pack that we just mentioned. We've also of course got across here the bauble border die. Now I've actually got one panel in the middle, and then I've taken another one and I've cut it in half to make up my edges, and I've put it on a very thin strip of acetate to give it some body, and it's quite strong, it'll stay there, and I've wrapped it around the back of my panels to actually keep it out front, and then I've used the bits of the baubles that I've cut off from these side pieces to fold and layer on top, just to give the baubles a bit more dimension. In the background here is one of our dies actually cut out of our ice gold cardstock. Now this was actually done by mistake, if I'm being honest. One of our new machines, one of our die cutting machines, has the ability to set the rollers to different heights so that you can apply different pressures, and it also has a little dial on it so you can twist it, so if you want to do embossing folders or dies, you just move the rollers to the way you want them to be as such. And somebody else had used my machine, which is absolutely fine, I'm not that greedy, but somebody else had used it and changed all the settings, and I come back forgetting to check that the settings were right and sent my die through it, and this is what come out. So it hasn't actually cut out of the cardstock, it's very much in the cardstock, but it's engraved the card. So what I did then is I thought, well, instead of throwing that in the bin and thinking, well, that's one that I've done and it's no good, I thought, well, if I ink over the top of it, it'll look as if the die has been engraved into the cardstock instead. So that's the aim I'm going for. So I went over it with a grey ink pad and a dark blue ink pad to just try and pick that up, but you can of course see the white pattern in there instead, and I quite like that. So it's something you might want to try with if you have that ability on your machine, or if anything ever goes through and doesn't quite cut perfectly, that might be a way that you could salvage it. At the top of this card we of course have our bauble border. Now the bauble border, that's the one that comes in the 3 bits that we chatted about a little while ago. That one is £10.99, but it reduced to just £9.34, and it's one I quite like. I think that looks quite nice coming out the top of any card. So that's that one, to give you an idea. And then we're on to this one. So, this one's quite a simple card. It is very clean and crisp. It's just using a really nice snowflake frame. I've left the middle in it. I've built up one of my decoupages on the top of it. I've added in that really nice snowflake border down the side, and I've layered some of the papers from the paper pad in your essentials pack underneath it. So really, really simple card. Not all Christmas cards have to take forever and include loads of techniques, do they? So that was just quite a quick, easy one to do. This one again was really simple, same die again, so this is again the snowflake frame, but this time I wanted to show you how you could cut out the papers from in that paper pack you're going to be getting in your essentials pack. So you might not be able to see it too well on camera, but it's got a really nice sort of scene going on over the paper, a bit of a night sky, so cutting that out actually just gave my die cut a bit more texture and a bit more interest, if you like, quite easily. The little robin on the branch here, this is one that featured on a showcase a couple of months ago. He's available on the website and in store if you like the look of him, but not one of this week's showcase items. We also have the little ribbon bow that of course is made out of the ribbons that are in your essentials pack. So another quick easy card. And then this one, what have we got on this one? Oh, this one was fun. This one was something I'd never done before again. So what I did here was I cut my actual die out. Now, of course, this is the ice frame. And I really liked what was left. Now, I wish I'd kept another one to show you, actually. But the remainder, the waste part that you would normally possibly throw in the bin, not that you ever should because we're crafters and we have to hoard everything. But if you was to part with it, don't keep it, because it's a really pretty frame. And I wanted to show you how we could use that. So these were both cut out of white cardstock. What I did was I took an ink pad, I patted all over the top of the waste part of it as such, and then heat embossed it in gold embossing powder 3 times. So basically triple embossed it, so it actually has a sort of metal sheen to it. And then I decided I'd do the same with one of the dies. So I took the die cut itself and I did that using a blue embossing powder that actually comes out a bit purple if you ask me, but a really nice dark navy blue embossing powder. Again, I embossed it 2 or 3 times to really lacquer that up, and then I stuck both of them on a piece of card, nesting one back inside the other. And then because I wanted them to sort of join together slightly, I padded over the top of the whole thing and then put clear embossing powder over the top of that, so it sort of has a really shiny lacquered effect to it. I've also taken one of my gems and I've heat embossed that as well, just so it matches in. And I've also taken the sleigh and reindeer die, which of course is in your essentials pack as one of the items in there. And I've done the same to that. So this again, I might be able to show you that one a bit better. That one again started off as white card, but has been triple embossed. And you might actually see it slightly better on this die. When you heat emboss an item like this, it actually rounds it off and gives it more of a metal effect and more of like a charm than just a die cut. It's also quite nice if you end up creasing your die. Sometimes I crease them, or if I've used not very good masking tape, you can end up with marks on it from that. Or sometimes even your machine or your mats might mark your dies sometimes. This is a good way to cover anything like that up. All textures, all colours, all marks can be covered with your embossing powder. So again, it's a nice way to save your die. And then on the top here, this bit up here, we have, of course, the snowflake border die. And I've done exactly the same with that one. So I'm going to turn this over so you can see the back of it, because I wanted to leave it plain so I could show you. But if you were doing this to actually send it, I'd hope you'd colour both and cover up the gluey bit. And certainly not have prices and names right on the back. But it's a nice way to show you that this started off as black card. And by going over it with that embossing powder, it's given it that really nice rounded metal effect again. And I've just added in a few gems to that one too. Of course, don't miss in the centre, we of course have our stamp set. Now this is the stamp set that's available, should be £8.99, but is only £7.64p. And that is just part of our little scene. It's literally just that part there. So I haven't used it to its full potential, but it's certainly one to watch and a really nice set. Moving on to our next card. Now this one's our white work card for this week, and it's a really simple one. It's just taking that frame, which is your ice frame, and layering it. Now I see this on Pinterest the other day and I thought it looked really nice. Again, not something I'd ever done, but it's literally taking 4 levels of that die, cutting them all out of white cardstock, and then just foam padding them together. So it's quite strong, it's quite resilient, and if you do want to post it, it will just bounce back into life. But it gives you a really nice sort of shadow effect, and it gives you a bit of depth. And I just felt it took, sometimes one die cut can look a bit flat and a bit lifeless, and turned it into more of a focal point for my actual card. And then in the middle, just keeping it simple, I've used that same robin die, which again is available online or in store, just in the centre there. But it's a very clean and crisp and basic and simple card, but I really wanted to show you just how pretty these are. If you do want to layer them up with a few foam pads, it's quite simple but can look quite nice. So with that in mind, I wanted to show you the other one as well. Oh, we've got a bit of a pearl escape here, so we'll just try and push them back on. Don't want to see my pearls running away, do we? This one again is the snowflake frame, so the opposite one, square one obviously. And again with this one we've got a few layers on here, and then the bottom one I didn't cut the middle out, I've left it as a solid so that we could actually put something in there instead. So again, them stamps, that lovely stamp set, that little village scene might look quite nice in there, all coloured in and decorated up. Or of course you could do as I have and use the hanging baubles, which again, we haven't really spoke too much about this one, but it's a lovely die. Should be £8.49, only £7.21, and it's quite a nice little part to put in the middle of that one, isn't it? And then out the top here, coming out of the very top of these panels and out the bottom here, they're both parts of the bauble border. So I've just used the top part of it and stuck that on, and then the bottom part of it coming out there. So again, good ways to use that. It doesn't have to just be used as a freestanding element, can just make up a nice border for your cards. And then across the top here, obviously, we have our snowflake border again. I really am quite a fan of that one, so it's been stuck on in every card I can possibly fit it in on. And also, one last thing I want to mention, I did have these somewhere to show you, but I think I've put them down and lost them, is our little Happy Christmas banners. Now, I don't know if you've seen them before in store or online, but you literally get a whole sheet of them, not quite A4, but not far off, and you get a whole sheet of them already die cut, and they're really, really inexpensive, and I just think they're really lovely, especially if you are doing white work or white and silver, white and gold. They can really tone in quite nice. They come with lots of different wording on them, and white and then they have a silver or a gold edge to them and writing, so they can be quite pretty. Then on to our next card. So I'm sticking with the layered look. I'm going to convince you like it, whether you like it or not. I'm going to brainwash you into this. So this time we've used the blue cardstock. Again, you're going to get some of this in your essentials pack. And I've layered it this time 4 times, putting a white circle in underneath it and then using my bauble border part just to go in the middle here. Now that same bauble border has also been used on all 4 sides of this panel just to build it out. I wanted to have a more intricate edge to it. So again, this is just using the top half of that die to make up a frame to actually go underneath that layer. And then on the top we have, of course, the other border, which is your snowflake border, just coming out the top of that one as well. So again, quite a simple card to do, nothing really too faffy, but hopefully one that looks quite pretty. Then on to our next card. This time, oh, I've cheated on this one. I shouldn't confess these things, but I'm going to be honest. I have completely cheated. I started off with a die, because although we show you on that card a little while ago how you could take this die and triple emboss it so it looks a bit more metal-y, a bit more as an embellishment, I wanted to show you it actually out, because where I'd put it in the frame on that one, I felt it lost a bit of its prominence. So I've done it on here and I've layered it onto some mirror board, so I'm hoping you can see just how pretty that effect is and really how pretty this die is, to be honest. I also think, although it's a snowflake one, this shows quite nicely that depending on the colour you use it with, you might be able to trick people into thinking it's a bit more of a foliage or leaf one, because it doesn't shout snowflake quite so much when you look at it just as that panel, to me, in a purple. But I also wanted to do the edges, but I didn't have time to do the edges and triple emboss all of these 4 pieces, so I cheated and used purple card. So you are going to be getting the purple card in your essentials pack, but it would of course be nice if you was to continue the theme with your triple embossing if you want to. In the middle here, using one of the circles to cut out that is actually included with the dies, I've again cut it out of mirror board, and I've used that same little part of the village scene from our stamp set on there, and I've actually left on sort of the bits that we normally try to get away, them little nasty bits of embossing powder that stick around, but I quite like them. I felt it looked as if it was like really fine snow falling, so I left them on, but you could get rid of them if you wanted to. And then my actual card stands as a diamond fronted one, so that's how I've created this effect, and I think that looks quite pretty to have a bit of a gap going on behind all of them really nice ornate snowflakes. And again, it shows you how you can take a border and turn it into a frame. So it's sort of, to me, it makes it more a justifiable purchase, because you're not having to just buy it and use it for one use. There's so many things we can do with a die like that. It makes it a little bit more cost effective. And then on the inside, so going on to the inside of my card, we have the top part of that snowflake border. So I haven't really used too much of this, but I did want to show you it's quite pretty as well, good every day. And then across the bottom here, we again have our really nice bauble border, just used to tuck under that bit. And then if we flip this card over, I can show you on here, we have our hanging baubles. So again, that one's only $7.21, and I think it's so pretty and just fits in so well with so many themes. But the idea is it sort of hangs behind the card slightly, so when it sits open, there's still a bit of pattern and a bit of detail on that side of it as well. So that's how that card was made. And then on to our very last one. Now this is the sneaky one that you got to look at before we even began today's video as your introduction. Now this one, I'll be honest, I quite like this one. I don't often say I like my work, but I was quite chuffed with this one. I must confess, I don't know if I should have gone for such a bright blue in the background. After I'd made it, I actually said to Tracy, who works here, I think I should have gone for a lighter blue, but you know, that's not a problem. We learn from these things, don't we? Again, this is a big old card, by the way. It's about 11 inches, this one, 11-inch square, so it's well, not quite square, but you know what I mean. It's a big old beast of a card, and this time I've used that really lovely ice frame. So we're looking at this one, just in case you're forgetting the one I'm on about, because I'd never believe this come from that, if I'm being truthful. So I've taken my ice frame and I've cut them out, and I've actually teabag folded them to make my little parts to create my medallion. Now, if you haven't seen teabag folding before, I won't go into the whole gubbins of how it's done, but it's basically just using different folds to create your actual pieces, and then you marry them up and pop them in together. But I'm sure if you're interested in teabag folding, there is 1,000,001 videos and 1,000,001 folds on YouTube showing you how you could do this very, very simply. But I just think it's quite impressive that you can take a flat, roundish, squarish die like that and turn it into a medallion like this. So I've actually used 8 of them to make my very bulbous sort of foliagey style snowflake medallion. And of course, in the middle of it, I've layered one of the decoupage pictures from In Your Essentials pack. Then around the edges, again, I've used our really nice snowflake border to make up an actual frame. And then going over the corners here, I've used the parts that are left, actually, from the snowflake border. So where I've actually tucked these underneath, where I've tucked them bits underneath my card, I didn't need this part of it, although it's cut. So I've just trimmed them off and I've used these to actually decorate my corners with. And then you also get a nice little thin bar in here. If you remember at the beginning, I told you that bit actually cut out so we could slide things into that if we wanted to. Well, that bar is quite a nice, delicate little bar that you could then use to accentuate your design if you wish to. Also, over these corners of this panel, these are actually parts of the bauble border, which I've just trimmed to actually turn into a bit of a decoration to go over them. So hopefully that makes sense. But just by cutting off the baubles, you could then wrap them around your card to make that effect. Paper-wise, this of course is the paper that you're going to be getting in that lovely little stack in your Essentials pack. And then we also have some ribbon that's stacked up over here that again you're going to be getting in your Essentials pack. So lots and lots in your Essentials pack that you're really going to need, isn't there? So just in case you've forgot the dies, we're going to do a quick run through of them again. So if you haven't yet confirmed in your mind which ones you want, or you want to have another look at the mega bundles and bits, we'll do a quick run through of them just to show you what you could be getting again. So this, of course, is your snowflake frame. Should be £11.49, but it's only £9.76. We then have your ice frame, which should be £11.49, but it's only £9.76. Your snowflake border, which should be £10.99, but is only £9.34. And then we have your bauble border, which should be £8.49, but is only £7.21. And your hanging baubles, which should be £8.49 and are only £7.21. We then have your stamp set, which should be £8.99 and is now only £7.64. And then, of course, we have your mega bundle. If you can't decide and you'd like all of them bits, you could buy them in your mega bundle. Should be £61.94, but it's only £49.99. Then hopefully by now I've convinced you can't live without an Essentials pack, because I'm quite in love with this week's Essentials pack and think it's really good value for money. So of course your Essentials pack should be £25, but it's only £16.49. And then once again, if you can't decide and you want your Essentials pack and you want your mega bundle and you want to save a bit more money, why not go for the super mega bundle, which should be £86.94, but is only £64.99. Now, if you're sorry, let's try this one again. If you're new to ordering with us, that's what I'm desperately trying to say here. If you're new to ordering with us, you can order all of these items on our website. You don't need to worry about the codes. You can just pop on there and everything is pictured individually and you can just pick the items you would like. Of course, if you spend lost it now, and if you spend over £35 and you live in the UK, then you get free P&P. If you spend less than £35, then P&P is a flat rate of just £2.75. As I told you at the beginning of today's video, which feels like a very long time ago, our new international shipping rates, of course, apply from today onwards and on a trial basis. So international shipping will only cost you a maximum of £10 to have any of this lot sent anywhere in the world. So it's a good time to hop on and get shopping. If you would prefer, you can collect any of the items we've been talking about today from one of our stores. All you have to do that is you can either pop on the website and use our click and collect function, or you can pop on any of our social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and tell us in the comments the items you would like using the codes we've been giving you today, and we will have them held for you in store for up to 7 days. Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, and we truly hope you have, please don't hesitate to give us a thumbs up, whether you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook. Share us, because the more people who watch us, the more videos we can bring you, and the bigger and better they can be. And if you are a YouTube member, if you could please subscribe to our channel, we would truly appreciate it. We're, I think, just about to hit 1,150 subscribers, but we'd certainly like to hit a lot more. So if you could please subscribe, that would be amazing. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, as always, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me directly, or of course, as I said earlier, on any of our social media or stores, and I will do my very best to answer your questions. And I look forward to seeing you all next week when we have another brand new Sunday showcase for you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.